All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to dive into something that honestly affects, like, everything.
Yeah.
Supply chains.
Oh, yeah.
Like, seriously, you ever, order something online and it just, magically shows up at your door a couple days later?
Right.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it. So today we're going to unpack how those products actually, move and groove their way to us. And more importantly, we're going to talk about the money, the moolah
Yeah.
that makes these supply chains actually, function. We're
Right.
talking about supply chain financing. And to help us break it all down, we're tapping into some insights from Supply Chain Savvy. That's a podcast by Masood Khan.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of this one. He's got some good stuff.
He does. He really breaks down, all the different ways businesses, navigate the whole financial side of this crazy system.
Yeah, because it's like a whole puzzle, right? Getting those products from like a factory, all the way to, like you said, our doorstep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine, okay, there's this brand new phone, right?
Okay.
It's being manufactured, packaged, shipped, the whole 9 yards. And it's going all the way from a factory, maybe overseas, all the way to your local store.
Right.
And each step of the way, it's costing money.
Oh, yeah.
Way before that phone's even sold.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's where the magic of supply chain financing comes in.
Right.
It's like this bridge, between companies paying their suppliers and then finally getting paid by us, the customers.
Yeah, because it's all about that cash flow, right?
Exactly.
Keeping it moving.
Keeping it moving. So Masood, he mentioned a bunch of different financing methods that businesses use.
Okay.
So I figure let's kind of follow that phone's journey.
Okay.
From factory to our hands and see how these methods come into play in the real world.
Okay. I'm down. Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Let's start at the factory. They've got this massive order they got to fulfill, right? But they need that cash up front to buy, all the raw materials, pay their workers, get the ball rolling.
Oh, for sure.
That's where these early payment programs, they can be a lifesaver.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so how does that work?
So the buyer, maybe this is a big electronics retailer, they agree to pay the factory earlier than the, usual terms.
Right.
Right. So instead of waiting the typical, say, 60 days, they might pay within 15.
So the factory gets their money way faster.
Exactly.
Okay, so that keeps things moving on the production side.
Exactly. Keeps those wheels turning.
But what's in it for the retailer? Why would they want to pay early?
That's the cool part, right? They usually work out a discount for paying early.
Oh, okay.
So it's a win-win, right? Factory gets that improved cash flow. Retailer gets a little discount on their purchase.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Now, let's say that retailer, though, they're facing, I don't know, some economic uncertainty, right?
Aye.
They might want a little more flexibility with their own cash, and that's where this dynamic discounting comes in.
Oh, dynamic discounting. Okay, so instead of a fixed early payment discount, it's what, a sliding scale?
Yeah, you got it. The discount they offer changes depending on when the retailer pays. So if they've got cash on hand, they can pay early, get a bigger discount.
Yeah.
If they need to hold on to their cash a bit longer, they pay later, smaller discount, maybe no discount. But it's all about that flexibility, right?
Right.
Because in this economy, things are always changing.
That's true. Yeah. Things are volatile out there. That's super interesting. So we've got the factory. They're funded. They're making the phones.
Yeah.
Let's move those phones along on their little journey.
Okay.
They arrive at the retailer's warehouse. And I feel like this is where we get into inventory financing, right?
You know it. That warehouse is packed with phones.
Yeah.
Ready to hit the shelves. But even though they got all those phones, the retailer, they still got to pay to get them there.
Right, of course.
The shipping company, warehouse staff, all those operational costs. Inventory financing is the answer.
Okay, so how does that one work?
They essentially use the phones as collateral to secure a loan. It's like saying, hey, we got all this valuable stuff, give us some cash, and we'll pay you back once it sells.
Ah, so it's all about leveraging what they've got, even if it's not sold yet.
Exactly. And it lets them manage those costs without having to, sell off assets or give up ownership in the company.
Smart. Okay, so phones are made. They're in the warehouse. Next stop, we're shipping them out.
Shipping them out.
And sometimes, I imagine, they're going international.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to come with some, inherent risk, right? Of
Yeah.
what if something happens and the buyer just, can't pay? That's where trade credit insurance comes in, right?
You got it. International trade, it's like navigating like uncharted water sometimes.
Right.
A lot can happen. A buyer might hit some like unexpected rough seas, metaphorically
Yeah.
speaking,
Right. Right. Ref seas.
and be unable to pay for those phones. Trade credit insurance is like the safety net
Okay.
for the seller.
Hmm.
In this case, maybe it's the company that handled the international shipping. It ensures that they still get paid, even if the buyer, defaults.
Okay.
Provides some stability, in a kind of unpredictable global market.
It's like peace of mind.
Exactly.
Okay. Last stop.
All right.
That phone is in the store, ready for someone to buy it.
Yeah.
But before we get there, we got to talk about fintech. Where does that fit into all of this?
Oh, fintech's like the cool kid on the block, right?
Yeah.
It's changing the game, making supply chain financing faster, more accessible, and honestly, often cheaper. Think about like online platforms that connect businesses with different financing options.
Okay.
Automate like invoices and payments, even using like fancy data analytics
Right.
to assess risk and, personalize the financing solutions they're offered. It's like instead of using a paper map, you got like real-time GPS.
Right. Right. That is a much better way to look at it.
Much smoother, right?
Yeah. So it's pretty clear that supply chain financing, it impacts like everything.
Yeah.
The speed of like getting a product made, a retailer's ability to give us those sweet, sweet discounts.
Yeah.
It's way more interconnected than I think most people realize.
Oh yeah, it's all intertwined, right? Like a big web. But it really makes you wonder though, with all these different ways to make these transactions happen, all these different methods, what are like the potential downsides? Are there risks to using each of these methods? It's something to like think about as we're like, navigating this crazy world of, interconnected commerce.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
We don't always think about that. We just see the end product.
Right. Exactly.
And it's so easy to kind of just take it for granted. But yeah, there's a whole lot to consider there. And for all you deep divers out there, if this piqued your interest, even just a little bit, I would say, go out there, keep exploring. This world of supply chain financing, it's huge, it's complex, and it's impacting our lives in way more ways than we probably even realize.
Definitely.
Until next time, happy deep diving, everybody.